Fred and Sheila McCoy, Hatfield McCoy Museum, fredmccoy.com, Hatfield's McCoy's Museum.com. This is going to be another segment of Keeping It Real. I'm going to try to make it brief. It's going to cover 3 or 4 topics, hopefully short topics. This is just something that we have seen, read, were told, heard, or saw on a YouTube video or TikTok, something like that. And most of these right here is going to be from the same YouTubers. And again, to some people, this may not amount to a bag of beans. But to somebody that's really doing history or into the history of the Hatfield and McCoys or the Hatfield-McCoy feud, dates and genealogy, things like that mean a lot, because somewhere down the road, there's going to be somebody follow us, just like we're doing our ancestors. There's going to be somebody do us. And what we say, even though it may not seem that important today, it might be. And it might save our offspring some troubles down the road when they get the wrong information. This YouTuber here says that Asa McCoy was the son of Uriah. Says Uriah's father was Squirrel Huntin Sam. And that's just not true. Uriah's father was actually Samuel McCoy. Samuel was a son of William McCoy. Samuel was the brother to Daniel McCoy, who was the Randall McCoy's father. Samuel and Daniel were brothers, and Uriah and Randall McCoy were actually first cousins. So that's one of the corrections. Squirrel Huntin Sam was not Uriah McCoy's father. I seen a story, and I'm going to put this out there. If you can correct me, that would be great, because that saves me from having, me and Sheila and I, from having to go do it ourselves. We did this years ago, and unless something's changed, I would have a hard time believing it. On the Preacher Anderson Hatfield Cemetery on 1056 at McCoy there, down below the cabin, Asa McCoy is buried on that cemetery. To our knowledge, Asa McCoy is the only McCoy that's on that cemetery. Now, this is something that very seldom will you hear me say. We could be wrong, but we could be wrong here. But rather than us trying to find it, it's be a whole lot easier. This person says that there's 6 McCoys buried on the Anderson Hatfield Cemetery at Blackberry. The only one that we recall was the Asa McCoy that actually married Nancy Hatfield, which is my great-grandparents. And they're buried up there near Preacher Ance's in Polly's grave. But they're saying that there was 6 other McCoys buried at that cemetery. If there is, please tell us who they are, where they're buried at, so we can research that for ourselves. They also said Nancy and Asa never got involved in the feud, one way or the other. And our question there is, that's a good comment. Our question there is, how do you know that? How do you know that? Because why I'm saying this for is because from some of the other comments that we've covered here and covered earlier, would tend to make me think that maybe they're not completely, some of their information is not completely factual. I'm going to tell you, I used to watch these 2 videos, all YouTubers all the time. I watched them when they didn't have 3 subscribers, and they're up to thousands. And they used to do, and they still do, they're good, a whole lot better spokespeople than I am. But they tend to, now that they've got subscribers and want to make a lot of videos, I guess, they don't research their material nowhere near like they did or they should. And I've quit watching them because of that. Because you don't know when they're telling the correct story or when they're just throwing it out there. And I don't, as a police officer, former police officer, I don't like just throwing it out there. There's enough of that. If you can't prove it, and I found enough mistruths here or misinformation that I have my doubts. So if Asa and Nancy Hatfield were not involved in the feud, didn't take sides either way or this and that, then where did you get your information? How do you know that? And show us some, I'd like to know that, because that's a good statement. I don't think they did neither. That's my great-grandparents. And I don't think they got involved in the feud. But how do we know that? How does a person, how can you, I can't say that for a fact. Both of them died young, and what killed them? How this happened. So, be some good information if you can show proof on that. You know, I was going through some notes the other day when we started discussing these videos years and years ago. When we retired, we were going to start doing these videos, keeping it real. And I ran across a note here from another author. And this author told me one time, we were talking, and he said, yeah, you know, when Randall McCoy worked for Devil Anse Hatfield, and I said, Randall McCoy never worked for Devil Anse Hatfield. And he said, yeah, he did. And I said, no, he didn't. Where's the proof? Worked how? Both of them were farmers. Up until the time they went into the Civil War, they were both farmers. Now, Randall's a lot older than Devil Anse. You got to look at that too. Randall was an old man compared to Devil Anse. But they were both farmers when they went to the Civil War. Devil Anse deserted. Randall went POW. When he come back, they never got along after that. So at what point and where and how did Randall McCoy ever work for Devil Anse Hatfield? You know what he told me? He said, well, Fred, that's on page so-and-so of my book. I put that on page so-and-so of my book. And I said, by his name, I don't make it true. I don't care if it's in your book or not. Just because somebody writes something in a book doesn't make it true. So, again, for all you historians out there, or future historians, or wannabe historians, or just history buffs that want to get the facts, just because you read something in a book does not make it true. So remember this. And this is Fred and Sheila McCoy, Hatfield McCoy Museum, keeping it real. Sheila?
Please like and subscribe. Thank you.
Thank you all.